For this tutorial, adding audio DSP equipment, we'll start with Mira Connect paired to a room. Refer to the video Getting Started with Mira Connect if you haven't yet completed that step. Although you don't need a Mira Connect paired to the room to add equipment, it does make some configuration steps easier and faster. In this example, we'll add a Polycom sound structure audio DSP, set up the control points, and show the user interface. Before starting, you'll need to know the IP address of the DSP system, and the DSP should already be configured using the manufacturer's software tools. We'll start by pressing Continue on this tutorial. And being in the Equipment pane, we'll select Add. We'll select our equipment type. And we'll enter the IP address of the sound structure and an administrator password if required to connect to the device. If you don't have the equipment yet and want to follow along or demonstrate the system, you can check Simulate Equipment for each piece of equipment as you add it. This tells Mira Connect to simulate the real device. Once we've entered the IP address, click Add Equipment so Mira Connect can verify the network connection to the equipment. We'll click Finish to close the tutorial. And we see that the status of the Polycom sound structure says Edit Equipment to complete additional configuration. We'll edit this equipment by clicking on these three dots and selecting Edit. And before selecting the audio controls, we can see that the sound structure network interface has green check marks next to it, telling us that we can communicate to the equipment at the IP address and password specified. If you have the wrong IP address or invalid administrator password, the indicator will be a red warning sign. Now let's click Audio Controls. Here we can configure the control points for sound structure. We see that we have to configure at least one control point to use the DSP system. Let's expand the area for microphone mute. Click on the line labeled Group Submixer Channel and either select a channel from the list or enter a name if the channel you'd like to mute is not shown. Depending upon the audio DSP, additional parameters may be required. For this example, we'll select mics, and we'll repeat this process for room volume, selecting an amplifier channel in that case. For audio dialing, click Add and then select the desired telephony channel from the list. We see there are other kinds of control points, including assistive listening, overflow rooms, and audio sources that we'll cover in a future session. When complete, click Update Equipment, and you will see that the sound structure now has a green check mark next to it, meaning that all the configured control points are working correctly. Now that we've added our equipment, let's review the user interface on Mira Connect. On the Mira Connect display, we see that on the left are the menu items based on the equipment and the options selected for Mira Portal, including the dial pad for dialing calls and recent calls for redialing calls. Depending upon your equipment and options, you may have more or fewer menu options. On the right are the audio controls, including microphone mute and room volume. As a convenience for users, if the room volume is lowered to the bottom of the range, the room volume control point will mute and the volume slider will be highlighted in red, ensuring that no audio in the room will be heard. Adjusting the room volume from its lowest position will unmute the audio signal and increase the room volume. More options may be visible if you configured other audio control points for assistive listening or overflow rooms. From the dial pad, calling someone is as simple as entering the digits and pressing the green telephone button for a voice call. This completes our tutorial for adding and controlling a DSP audio device.